Good morning. It seems like such a long time since I've been here on YouTube, and it's only been 2 weeks. But we've been through a lot in those 2 weeks. Number one, the kids had Christmas break from school for 2 whole weeks. So that's a lot of upset in our routine. And we survived a blizzard and wind chills or real field temperatures in like 40 below zero range. So that took a lot of our time and effort over Christmas to take care of the animals, and chores aren't as casual when it's that cold outside. So I took a break from YouTube for those 2 weeks that the kids were home. Number one, because it takes 100% of my presence to just keep the homestead and the home running when we are, number one, out of routine and when I'm making Christmas for the family. So now the kids are back in school. Today's their first day back, and yesterday we started on a project that I will work on for most of the month of January. That project is deep cleaning the house. Now, we started in the kitchen, which is the worst part of the entire house. Number one, because grease. My cabinets tend to get greasy, and the kitchen gets used hard here on the homestead. We cook from scratch 2 to 3 meals a day, and we feed anywhere from 7 to 12 people on, every day of the week. So our kitchen gets used a lot, and then the kids are learning to cook, so that creates more messes, and the kids help a lot with the dishes. So that means there's mess inside the cupboard too, as they just shove dishes into the cupboard, and when they use ingredients, they spill and they don't clean it up. And if I'm really honest, sometimes when I'm in a hurry and being real creative, I don't clean up very well after myself either. And so we started with the kitchen because last year we ended with the kitchen and I had lost my momentum by then. So I just kind of did a soft clean that would have made my mother and grandmother, it would have just upset them if they would have seen how I deep cleaned my kitchen last year. So this year we're starting with the kitchen while we still have a lot of momentum, and we're gonna do the kitchen right this year because it is really bad. Now, talking about my mom and my grandma, in the Mennonite community, deep cleaning your house is a twice a year thing. They do it in the spring and they do it in the fall. And the reason for this is longer ago, when everybody heated with coal and wood, it was a very dirty heat. And so in the spring, when they were done, heating their homes, it was time to deep clean their houses because of all the soot and dirt that's caused by wood and coal burning stoves. And then in the fall, they would deep clean because they didn't have air conditioning units, so they would leave their windows open all summer. And most of the time they would have screens to put in them, but not always. So all the dirt from summer would come right in through those windows, lots of dust. So then in the fall, they would deep clean again. And when I talk about deep cleaning, they wash the walls and the ceiling, and everything gets wiped down and washed down. So in the modern day America, we have very, very clean heat. So our homes don't get quite as dirty. Most of the dirt in our homes is not from the environment, like heating or the outside dust, as it is from the people that live in the home. So in our family, we have adjusted to the modern times, and we only deep clean once a year, and we don't always do it all at one time. I might deep clean one room at a time and kind of spread it out over the whole year. But like I said, the kitchen is very, very necessary, and we started yesterday. I took some footage yesterday, and I'll show you where we started, and then I've been busy working online most of the morning, and the kids will be home in about 2 hours because they have a short day today. They have a 1:30 dismissal. And it just goes a lot better when I have somebody to help me because it saves a lot of energy. They fill my buckets with hot water and they carry things out of the cupboards for me. So I'm slowly gonna get started, but once they get home from school, we're really gonna dig in. So first off, here is some of the supplies we're going to use. I will link my favorite Everyday Thieves cleaner, and then we just use hot soapy water and our favorite rags. Now this is not something that is normally in my cleaning cabinet, but I do get it for deep cleaning because sometimes there is grease that my regular non-toxic cleaner just can't get rid of. Other things that we need is a good pair of running shoes, a battery-powered vacuum, a broom and dustpan, and then the only other thing we need is a whole lot of elbow grease. So one of the reasons I knew that I needed to start this project before the kids go back to school is that I needed help to move the refrigerator. And this is also the reason why it's so filthy behind the refrigerator, is because normally I'm cleaning by myself and there's no way I can move the refrigerator without help. So here is proof of all the dirt that I knew would be back here. There's dirt that got kicked under the refrigerator, spills that ran back here and we couldn't reach them, so they just never got cleaned up. The first thing that we're going to do is take our broom and sweep up all the coarse dirt and toys and trash. Next, I'm going to use my little battery-powered vacuum, and I'm just going to get rid of any dust that's still on the floor. And then I'm going to use it on the walls to get down any spider webs, because I really dislike when I get spider webs on my cleaning rag and in my cleaning water. So we're going to start with the sides of the refrigerator using our everyday cleaner, and then we'll come back with a stronger cleaner to get any grease spots that we weren't able to remove. Whenever I use the stronger degreasing cleaner, I crack a window because I really dislike the smell of the strong cleaner. I'm going to start working on the walls behind the refrigerator using a wet rag that has been in my bucket of hot soapy water, and I'm just going to work from the top down, rinsing my rag often and replacing my water whenever it gets too dirty. When I've got the top part of my walls done, I'm going to start working on the floor. And first I'm going to spray it with a water and thieves cleaner mixture. And I'm going to let that spray loosen all the grime that is on the floor. So while the floor is soaking, I am going to finish the bottom portion of the walls. By the time I get the walls done, my water and rag are pretty filthy. But I'm going to use this dirty water and rag to get started on the floor. I'm going to use this dirty water to get most of the dirt off, or get all the dirt off that I can see. Some of the dirt is so very stuck. And because our floor is ceramic tile, I know that using a table knife to scrape the dirt off of the floor won't be leaving any marks on the tile. So I'm going to take one last pass over the floor and the bottom parts of the wall, making sure that I've gotten every corner and every spider web and fuzzy and piece of dirt. I'm still making sure to rinse my rag often to prevent just transferring dirt from one surface to the other. Here you can see exactly how filthy my water is so far, and it's definitely time for a clean bucket of water. So now that I've got a clean bucket of water with a little bit less soap in this time, I'm going to start all over. And this pass will not take near as long because I'm really just doing the final clean with a clean bucket of water. I'm again starting from the top down. Again, I'm rinsing my rag often. This leaves the dirt in the water and prevents you from just transferring the dirt from one surface to the next. So we're going to redo every surface back here with the clean bucket of water before we call it done. We're going to acquire the help of some taller members of the family to clean the top of the refrigerator. And this is a spot where we use the stronger cleaner, as the top of the refrigerator tends to get very greasy. Here's another spot where the stronger cleaner was needed, and a lot more elbow grease was needed for this portion down here as well. Now that we're done with the refrigerator, we are going to move the kitchen stove. And I knew there would be a lot of dirt down here because this corner here is the only way to get to the rest of the house from our entryway. So this corner gets a lot of traffic, which means a lot of dirt gets kicked in here under the kitchen stove. I wish I could say that this area right here is from the kids cooking and spilling, but I do know that I have spilled here a time or two as well. Checking to see if there's any toys that he doesn't want me to put into the garbage. So again, we first used the broom and swept up all the very coarse dirt and trash and small toys that have ended up underneath the kitchen stove. And then then I'm again going to use my battery-powered vacuum, and I'm just going to get all the smaller things that the broom misses, like dust and spider webs. And for this area, we're going to use the same approach. We're going to spray everything down, let it soak a little bit, and then we're going to wipe it all up, making sure to rinse our rag often and replace our water when it's dirty. And we're going to end with giving everything a nice clean wipe with a clean bucket of water. So I'm just going to take that trusty old table knife, cover it with my rag, and get all the dirt out of this crack here. That's good. All right, good job. Now that we're done with the behind the fridge and stove, it's time to tackle the countertops, the inside of the cabinets, and also the outside of the cabinets. And this includes making decisions about everything that we are keeping inside of the cabinets, because this is where clutter accumulates. I'm going to start with the top of the cabinets, the very top of the cabinets. And it gets very filthy up here because we don't have an excellent vent system for our kitchen stove. So grease ends up here, and then dust and dirt sticks to the grease, and it just gets filthy. So even though it's tempting to start with the dirtiest surface, that is not the route to go. I always start with the least dirty surface while my water is still clean. And for this area, it's going to be this crown molding that doesn't have a lot of dirt on it, maybe some spider and fly dirt and maybe some spider webs, but that's about it for this surface. So now that I've done the cleaner surfaces with my cleaner water, I'm going to start with the more dirty surfaces. Mitchell and Maxwell, I need you guys too. Don't forget to rinse the rag for me. I need you guys to go put this stuff over on the table. Clear a spot on the table for it. So now it's time to clean and organize the insides of the cabinets. This is the one above the kitchen stove, so it's out of my reach. So it doesn't contain a lot of things, but obviously there's some things in here that everybody has forgotten about. This cabinet is all cleaned up and organized. Moving on to a much more messy cabinet now. So we've removed everything from this cabinet, and we decided to remove this kitchen radio since we rarely, if ever, use it since we have our wireless speaker. So here's all the things we removed from that cabinet, and it's my job to sort through everything and decide what we're keeping and what we're not keeping. And then we're doing the same with this bottom set of cabinets. The children helped me with carrying things away, and as you can see, some of them are much more willing to help than others. So once we've removed everything from the cabinet, it's time to start cleaning the cabinet. And we start with using my little vacuum and sucking up all the dust and crumbs and dirt that are in the cabinet. And once we've got all the dirt and dust out, it's time to start washing down the cabinets using hot soapy water. Don't forget about the inside of the cabinet doors, which often are covered in fingerprints, especially right by the handle. And just as I expected, when I clean out the cabinets, the kids find things they didn't know we had, and they must try them out. Example here is Harrison found a Jell-O mold that I used to use to make little Jell-O gummies for them. So because my freezer also needs a good cleaning out, it's necessary for me to help Harrison find a flat surface to make his little ice cubes. The next step is to clean these drawers that go inside my cabinets. Once we've cleaned the inside of the cabinet, we can start putting things back. making sure we only put those things back that we know we are using at least monthly. Anything else we put in a further away storage, like in the basement or in the pantry. Okay, so we are done with this whole north section of the kitchen, and I'm going to show you how beautifully clean. I wish I could add that filter that Instagram gives you where everything sparkles, but unfortunately I don't have that filter on my phone. There I've got a pot of milk that's clabbering, and the inside of my cabinets are organized and clean. This is probably the one that I'm most proud of, because this one was very disorganized and contained a lot of dishes that we didn't actually use anymore. So we really downsized and donated a lot of dishes from this cabinet. And the inside of my cupboard doors aren't containing greasy fingerprints. So there you have it. The whole north wall of our kitchen is now deep cleaned. I've started on the south wall and I'm collecting footage, and I'll put that all in a video for next week. But this week's video is about long enough. And when I went on Instagram, when I started collecting footage for this video, I went on Instagram and I told my followers, I don't know if I have enough confidence to put so much of our dirty spaces onto YouTube. Like, my goal for YouTube has always been to just bring you along with our everyday happenings here on the homestead. So my followers on Instagram were like, oh yeah, cleaning videos are very popular. You should definitely do it. I have never watched a cleaning video in my entire life, so I have no idea how this will measure up or how dirty this is compared to other people's cleaning videos. And I'm also thinking there's probably some very modern, popular cleaning methods that I don't know, because I've never watched cleaning videos. I just clean the way my Mennonite mom and grandma taught me. So if you see me struggling to keep my kitchen clean and you know some of those modern tips, please put them in the comments, because I will be eternally grateful if there's an easier way to keep my house clean. Because I am not really passionate about cleaning. I do it because it's necessary and it makes my life easier. It is not my passion.